Some have been asking for it, and I'm here to deliver. Mock Draft 2.0. Now, the order is, in a sense, incorrect, because I had this draft written out about a week and a half ago. I've been forgetting to upload it, because I feel like there's been more impromptu things. Like if you've noticed, we had the college football playoff, the bowl games, the Cavs trade for Kyle Korver, the Grayson Allen tripping incident. But it's finally here. Now, the order's probably going to be incorrect once we get down to about after 20, because this was before the playoffs started, and the order's kind of changed drastically, in a sense. So let's get started. Number 1, I have the Browns go with Myles Garrett, defensive end of Texas A&M. The Browns they need help in all certain amount of places. But they got to start off on defense. Number 2, San Francisco, Mitch Trubisky, quarterback out of North Carolina. Now, I don't necessarily agree with this pick. I just feel like I haven't seen enough of Mitch Trubisky being a starter. He's only started one season. But on the other hand, Cam Newton only started one season at Auburn, and he's doing pretty well with the Panthers. So I'm not going to underestimate anybody yet. I talked to somebody about an hour ago about Mitch Trubisky, and he thinks he's going to be a bust. He's got a bust written all over it. So we'll kind of see what happens with the combine, because this could change. However, it's been said that the Browns, Jets, they have interest in this guy. So do one of those teams. Do the Jets trade with the Browns for the number 1 overall pick to draft him? Or do the Browns take him at number 1? Or does San Francisco pass on him and he falls to number 6 in the New York Jets position? All right, number 3, I have the Bears going with Jonathan Allen, defensive end of Alabama. I feel like the Bears need some pass rush, especially when you're facing quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers and Matthew Stafford twice a year. Especially with Aaron Rodgers getting all the time lately in the last 7 games. I feel like the Bears just need that pass rush to get better within NFC North competition. Number 4, this is kind of probably the first big shocker of the mock draft so far. Leonard Fournette going to Jacksonville, number 4 overall. Now, I feel like T.J. Yeldon hasn't really fit the bill so far in his tenure with the Jaguars. And I feel like if they grab somebody like Leonard Fournette, I think maybe it can work out for them, because I feel like Leonard Fournette's size can really help out a little bit. But we'll see what happens if he goes to Jacksonville, how it works in their system. Number 5, this was originally going to be the LA Rams pick, but because of all those sacrifices to draft Jared Goff, this is now the Tennessee Titans pick. I'm going with Jamal Adams, a safety of LSU. Now, in most mock drafts I've seen, he's a top 10 pick. Some even a top 5 pick. I believe in the one mock draft I saw, he's number 3 overall to Chicago. But I think the Titans need a little help in secondary. I feel like Adams could probably fit the bill in this one. Number 6, I have the Jets going to DeShone Kizer, quarterback of Notre Dame. I don't know if DeShone Kizer is built to be an NFL QB yet. I mean, some would say he could have the size of maybe Cam Newton, but I don't think he's going to evolve into Cam Newton at all. I don't kind of agree with this pick. I feel like maybe DeShone Kizer should have stayed for senior season at Notre Dame. Number 7, I have the now, as of today's, Los Angeles Chargers going with Malik Hooker, safety of Ohio State. I feel like the Chargers just need to start all over. So drafting somebody like Malik Hooker, who basically dominated this year in college, with 3 interceptions returned for a touchdown. I feel like maybe he can ignite the safety position in San Diego. Considering in the AFC West, it's starting to evolve in the receiver position. I think when Denver really figures out their quarterback situation, and with the Chiefs having Alex Smith, with him targeting Kelsey and Jerry Maclin, Albert Wilson, and with the Raiders evolving Cooper and Crabtree, Seth Roberts, I feel like they're going to need some improvements in the safety position. Number 8, I have the Carolina Panthers with Marlon Humphrey, cornerback out of Alabama. Now, the Panthers have several needs that they need to address. But the one they need to address the most is in the corner position, because we saw just their corners and safeties just getting burned all season long. I mean, Julio Jones went off on week 4 for 300 receiving yards. We've just seen them get torched by every single receiver they've played. Because that's really partially that they're missing Josh Norman at this point. And I feel like Marlon Humphrey is going to be the prospect in this draft that improved his draft stock with Pro Day and the Combine. Number 9, I have the Bengals going with Cam Robinson, offensive tackle of Alabama. I just feel like they got to protect Andy Dalton in this situation. Sure, the Bengals got some things to address, but I think getting a solid offensive tackle out of this deal, I feel like it's probably a pick well spent because you're getting protection for Andy Dalton. Number 10, I got the Bills going with Quincy Wilson, cornerback out of Florida. And spoiler, I have this really getting really defensive in the corner position especially. Number 11, I have the Saints go with Marshawn Lattimore, corner of Ohio State. I just feel like the Saints, as well as most of these teams in the top about 12 or 14, they got a lot of things to address. But I feel like there's a possibility that the Saints want to improve defensively first. Because the Saints have just not had a good defense throughout the years. And they're looking to improve that. And I feel like they got to draft the corner, especially when you're covering great wide receivers in the NFC South. Like you got Kelvin Benjamin, Julio Jones, and Mike Evans. You play those 3 receivers twice a year. 12, I have Cleveland go with Jalen Tabor, corner out of Florida. You need another corner to complement Joe Hayden. Because pretty soon, maybe Joe Hayden's going to get frustrated. He's going to get fed up with Cleveland, and he's going to try to get out of there. So just in case he's trying to get out of there, you got to get a corner that can support him. Basically complement him, especially when you're having to cover Antonio Brown, Marcus Wheaton with the Steelers twice a year. You got to be able to compete with the big dog in the AFC North. Because right now, Cleveland's just the bottom feeder of the AFC North. They have been for the last couple of years. And that needs to change, starting with the corner position. Start by covering the dynamic receivers that Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Cincinnati have. 13, I got the Cardinals with Reuben Foster, linebacker of Alabama. There's just some holes missing in the Cardinals' defense. We've seen that this year. 14, I got the Indianapolis Colts going with Dalvin Cook, running back out of Florida State. This is kind of a no-brainer pick. This would be an A-plus pick, in my opinion. Because Frank Gore is getting old. Ahmad Bradshaw is getting old. I haven't seen enough production out of Turbin or Josh Robinson this year. So I feel like they just got to start fresh and draft Dalvin Cook. Because I think Dalvin Cook's probably going to be the running back in this draft class is going to get the most production next year out of any running back coming out. 15 at the Philadelphia Eagles, Mike Williams, wide receiver, Clemson. I feel like the Eagles are about maybe 2 wide receivers, a solid corner, and a solid safety away from really being contenders in the NFC least. And I feel like it's getting a great start with Mike Williams. Give Carson Wentz another target to throw to. And there's rumors that they're probably going to pursue Deshaun Jackson in free agency to bring him back to Philadelphia. So if Mike Williams is still there at 15, I see the Eagles probably taking him. 16, I got the Eagles going with Derek Barnett, defensive end of Tennessee. Now, in a mock draft I saw a couple days ago, they had Derek Barnett being about in the top 6 to about the top 8. I feel like he's going to slip a little bit. Number 17, I got the Redskins with Jabril Peppers, linebacker of Michigan. Now, Jabril Peppers would be a top 5 pick in my big board. However, most mock drafts he's slipping because none of these teams really know where to put him. Do they put him at safety? Do they put him at linebacker? Do they put him in special teams? Or do they have him try being a running back? Because right now the Packers have Ty Montgomery, wide receiver, carrying the load in the running game for him right now. So Jabril Peppers is kind of a very versatile athlete. He can play about 4 or 5 different things in the football field. Kind of like the next guy who can do multiple things on the field 18th, I got the Titans with Adoree Jackson, the corner and kick returner of USC. I feel like this is going to be a steal in the draft. Because you can put him at corner, and you can put him on special teams being a kick returner. I feel like this will be one of the steals in the draft. Some mock drafts have him going early second round, others being late first round. But I think he's gonna sneak his way into about maybe the top 20. 19 of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going with Corey Davis, wide receiver of Western Michigan. I feel like this is a solid pick because they need somebody to complement Mike Evans. If you can get another dynamic wide receiver, it'd make Tampa Bay a bigger threat for the NFC South and NFC playoff contention with years to come. 20, I got the Denver Broncos with Caleb Brantley, defensive tackle of Florida. Denver's really missed Malik Jackson, Danny Trevathan this year. I feel like they need to fill that hole that they left. I feel like they didn't do a good job of covering that. And this is their opportunity to be able to do that. 21, I got the Detroit Lions with Chris Wormley, defensive end, defensive tackle of Michigan. Kind of the same thing for different reasons. They really haven't replaced Nick Fairley or Ndamukong Suh, and this is also their chance to do that. Number 22, this is kind of a shocker, but I have the Houston Texans going with Deshaun Watson, quarterback out of Clemson. I had this mock draft made before the national championship game Monday night, and I kind of knew that if Deshaun Watson proved himself again this year against kind of an NFL-ready defense, because think about all the players on that Alabama defense that are kind of pro-ready. Jonathan Allen, Reuben Foster, Marlon Humphrey. I mean, even Eddie Jackson from last year. Ryan Anderson, Tim Williams. Those guys are all NFL ready. And some may not necessarily really come out this year. And I feel like that has proved enough for him to sneak into the first round. Because there are teams that could probably use quarterbacks down the road. And I think Houston will really I think they'll take the opportunity to draft Deshaun Watson if it comes to it. Because based on what he's done against NFL sorts of defense in college, like Alabama, the last 2 seasons, I feel like that's really going to help him, especially if Brock Osweiler or Tom Savage can't prove themselves in the playoffs. 23rd of the Dolphins with Carroll Phillips, defensive lineman out of Illinois. I feel like this is kind of a solid pick because they got to end up replacing Cameron Wake maybe. I feel like they got to replace Cameron Wake because he's turning 35 in the offseason. And I got to find a replacement for him for the long haul. Okay. 24th, I got the Green Bay Packers with D'Onta Foreman, running back out of Texas. This is kind of a bold one, though. Because maybe they don't invest in a running back necessarily early. But just in case they can't re-sign Eddie Lacy for agency, James Starks is getting really old. And they need time out there to be more of a wide receiver than running back. And D'Onta Foreman's got the size and the speed to be an NFL running back. 25, I got the Seahawks with Ryan Ramczyk, the offensive tackle out of Wisconsin. However, this is a good pick as well because the Seahawks' offensive line has not looked good the last 2 seasons. And I think they got to just start rebuilding, especially when they let Russell Okung go and J.R. Sweezy go on free agency. Their offensive line just not looked as consistent as it used to be. I've seen Russell Wilson on the ground more this year than any years past. 26 at the Falcons with Charles Harris, the outside linebacker and defenseman of Missouri. This could also be a pick. Maybe Miami considers taking him at 23, depending on how things work out. But I think Atlanta's pass rush needs to get a little bit better, and plus in their linebacking position. 27, I got Pittsburgh going with Zach Cunningham, linebacker of Vanderbilt. Maybe this is a pick that Atlanta takes, possibly. But I think he'll fit really well with the Steelers' defense. Steelers' defense is getting a little bit older, especially James Harrison. So they got to find a replacement for him. 20, I got Oakland with John Ross, wide receiver of Washington. And I feel like they got to find a receiver to complement Cooper and Crabtree. And if you got Cooper, Crabtree, John Ross, that's a big 3 in wide receiver positions. Maybe he can be a slot receiver because Seth Roberts just dropped a lot of passes this year. 29, I got the Giants going with Desmond King, corner out of Iowa. Some think he's a second rounder, early third round, but I think he may sneak in. I think he's going to sneak into the first round, possibly. I feel like he would be a first round pick of the draft for tonight. 30, I got Kansas City going Quentin Nelson, the offensive guard of Notre Dame. And I think the offensive line's got to improve a little bit. Especially how the Raiders have been improving, how the Broncos' defense is on a regular basis, which they probably will improve. They'll probably be back to normal by next year or the year after it. So you got to look for at least the next 5 years of a franchise. You got to think about it. 31, I got the Dallas Cowboys with Sidney Jones, corner out of Washington. I feel they need a corner because, like I've said, I've not been sold on the Cowboys' defense this year. I mean, they let Kirk Cousins throw I think it was 463 yards on Thanksgiving Day against the Redskins. And that's kind of not good when you're giving up 400 and something yards to Kirk Cousins. And 32, I got New England with Christian McCaffrey, running back out of Stanford. Now, this is kind of what would be expected. Because Christian McCaffrey reminds a lot of people of Danny Woodhead. And I think he'd run the same system in New England like Danny Woodhead probably would if he was still there. So there is my mock draft 2.0. Go ahead and like, subscribe to the channel. Comment your thoughts below on this mock draft. You can even comment below pick by pick. I really like that. 32 comments per person. That's fine. I'll go with it. Anyway, shout out to theathletesub.org. Also, thank you for all the subscribers I've had so far. We're at 573 right now. But I'd like to get to 600 soon. Focus on another big milestone after that. Follow me on Twitter at JBTalkSports. I will see you next time. Have a great day, everybody.